One thing, first of all, I am a day trader. 90% of what I do is day trade. I've been trading for a little more than 30 years now. I retired at the end of 1999. I was 38 years old, and I've spent the last 15 years trading, teaching, and successfully mentoring students. 90% of what we do is day trade. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about day trading, hang out for the next 45 minutes. My goal is to give you guys as much content as possible. I could talk about psychology for a week. There are two things that I concentrate on. One of the things we do, one of the feature things that I do is I have a week-long trading lab. We have 6 actual trading techniques that we go over during that week-long lab. Once our lab is completed, we have a private chat room called the Green Room. If you guys can see my screen and see some of the trades that we did today, once we get into our Green Room, we trade the markets live with each other all day. We talk about entries, we talk about exits, we talk about stop orders. Any one of these trades or all of these trades could have been done by any of my traders at some point during the day. You can actually see I still have some orders in. I've traded Twitter after hours, and I've traded Guild after hours. We have had the Green Room, which is where we hang out with each other every single day, for 6 months now. We have made money all 6 months since we've started this. In the lab, we spend about 40 to 50 hours together learning the techniques, and in that is where we talk a ton about psychology. So I'll say this: you only see Twitter and your rises and fallers on the screen. Hold on. Here we go. Let me see if this works now. That better, guys? Everybody see everything now? All right, cool beans. Excellent. Excellent. I see I have some guys from my Green Room in here, actually, that came that have no lives and have nothing better to do. They're hanging out. Seth, how you doing? So the couple of guys that are here can attest to the fact that we've been up and running for 6 months, and we have made money all 6 months. So what I want to do is concentrate on content. You don't want to miss a trade. Look, he wants to trade Twitter and Guild. Too funny. So I want to concentrate on content. I want to give you guys as much as I can in the next half hour, 45 minutes. And then we can talk about a couple other things when we're done. Okay. So what we do is day trade, guys. 90% of what we do is day trade. We do swing trade. FYI, in the last 6 months, we have not lost money on a swing trade. We do it occasionally when we feel things have gotten out of whack. 90% of what we do is based on technical analysis. One thing I just want to say quickly, when one of the previous speakers talked about this as being gambling and us being in a big gambling casino, I could not disagree with that more. I do not gamble. The way we day trade is the furthest thing from gambling that there could possibly be, right? When people go to a casino, they lose because the odds are against them no matter what game they play. That's it. That's why people lose. Well, we don't even get involved in trades until the odds are in our favor. Does it mean we make money on every single trade? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But our key is when we are wrong in a trade, we get out of it very quickly, and when we're right in a trade, we get as much money out of it as we possibly can. But this is not gambling, guys. When you do this correctly, it is not gambling. I can't stand when people tell me that. The one thing about psychology I will mention, is money management. That's it. 90% of people who try to do this fail for money management. It has nothing to do with picking stocks at the right spots. Most of us can do that. It's what you do once you've picked a stock. It's having losses on individual trades. It's having daily losses. And it's sticking to those rules. Money management, money management, money management. You don't have proper money management, you have no way of succeeding in this. That's all I'm going to say about psychology, because I want to get to content, okay? I'm going to show you some of the technical tools that we use. I'm going to show you how they set up for some of the trades that we actually did today. And just over analysis to use. Okay. Our most important technical tool, are moving averages. And I try to keep things as simple as possible, guys. I have taught people who have never traded before. And after 5 days in the trading lab, they are up and running and ready to roll. Literally, up and running and ready to roll. What we do is not difficult. There's a lot of common sense involved. It's not an easy thing to learn, but it's not rocket science. So we use 3 moving averages. And I can see questions, guys, so if you want to ask as we're going, that's fine. My blue line is a 15 exponential moving average. My tan line is a 65 exponential moving average. And my yellow line is a 200 exponential moving average. Those are our most important technical tools, our moving averages. Very simply, moving averages show support and resistance, where we might buy a stock and where we might sell a stock. 90% of our trades are based on this. The other 10% of our trades are what we call the Dave Green trades. And those are equally successful and basically based on my 30 years of trading experience, having seen this movie 50,000 times before and knowing how it ends. We were watching Twitter after earnings came out. We had orders in at 41.50 to short the stock. The stock got as high as 51 after a $5.50 move up. We didn't get into it. That's just some of our technicals that we're talking about. Okay, so 15 EMA, 65 EMA, 200 EMA. The dots that you see here is called the VWAP, volume weighted average price. Not something we're going to have enough time to talk about today, but very simply what that means is the average price for all sales of the stock that day. We use that as another support or resistance level at times also. The only other technical tool I have in my charts is right down here, a relative strength index. A relative strength index. Briefly, I'll talk about relative strength for us, because I've heard other people talking about this. I use 20 and 80. If a relative strength gets above 80, I look to start shorting a stock. If it gets below 20, I look to start buying a stock. Very simple. So relative strength, below 20, above 80. Moving averages and VWAP. When we're looking at our moving averages and the stock is above where the moving averages are, when the stock moves down to these moving averages, those are possible support levels or places where we might enter trades to buy the stock. The further down the stock goes to hit one of our support levels, the better the odds are of that trade working. The better the odds are of that trade working. Our 15 EMA is the weakest, and we only use it in one circumstance, which I'm going to talk about in a couple of minutes. 65 EMA is stronger, and the 200 EMA is strongest. Most times when a stock moves and hits our 200 EMA, we are going to make a trade. Stock would have to have made a giant move, come down and hit that level. Odds are we're going to get a bounce off that level. As far as our day trades are concerned, depending on the trade that we get in, we look to make between 25 cents and $1 on most of our trades, unless we're entering into a trend trade, which I'm going to talk about first in a couple of minutes, in which case we want to make multiple dollars. Multiple dollars. So, I heard a couple of people talking about also, oh, I don't want to trade, I don't want to make 50 cents, I don't want to make $1. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can make a living doing that. And if it's not something you've done up to this point, you certainly can supplement anything that you're doing. I've taught a lot of people who have never day traded before. They are swing traders. They are investors. This has opened up an entire new world for them now and just added something to their repertoire to give them some extra income. Our trades are about, I'm going to say, a little over 80% successful. Okay, 8 out of 10 times when we put on a trade, we make money. One of my labs can back that up, 100%. And the times that we are wrong, listen, just because someone tells you they make money 80% of the time does not mean they're a successful trader, right? It depends on what happens the other 20% of the time. And if you're going to let the 20% of your losers overwhelm all of your winners, obviously you're not going to be successful. What we do works. It's been proven. 6 months in the green room, 6 months of profits. Let's talk about any questions about moving averages, RSI. Anybody have any questions about that? Why do I use 15, 65, and 200? That's a question that I get all the time because a lot of people use 8, 21, and 200, 30, 90, 80, whatever it is. The very simple reason, guys, why I use 15, 65, and 200 is because it works for what we do. It works for what we do. It is what gives us our percentage of profits on trades. Yes, I use the same moving averages on all time frames. And initially, we are always looking at a 5-minute chart for our day trades. Initially, we are always looking at a 5-minute chart for our day trades. But we very quickly and very often, and I'll show you a couple of examples of this, move to other time frames to find other support and resistance levels. Quite simply, if I'm looking at a 5-minute chart like Twitter and I have no other resistance levels, that's when I want to go to a longer term time frame to see if I can find some resistance on the chart. And look, lo and behold, guys, lo and behold, look how beautiful this was. This is a daily chart of Twitter. Sometimes our numbers, and I'm going to show you one from this morning, are so incredible that it's ridiculous. And sometimes we miss stocks by pennies. But look at Twitter. And this is what we were looking at after earnings, and it changed a little. Daily resistance level was 4106, which would be an 18% move from the earnings. Look how spectacular this was, guys. Look what it did on a 5-minute chart. It missed it by 6 cents. 6 cents. So daily chart, we know there's earnings coming out. I am making offers at 4106. Okay, we happen to miss this by 6 cents. We happen to miss it by 6 cents. But that's how powerful, especially our longer term moving averages are. The dots, how do I scan for the stocks you will trade today? That's a great question, Ghana. If I have time at the end, I will get to it. Again, I want to give you guys as much content as I possibly can. So I'm watching Twitter right now, guys, and it's just kind of breaking the trend. I know I have a support level on my 65 moving average at 36.61. Guess what? I'm putting an order out there at 36.61 to buy Twitter. I'll show you how I put it in. And based on what we do, I am pretty sure if Twitter were to spike down $1.20 from here, we're going to get that 25 cents to $1 bounce to make a trade. All right, let me talk about my first trading setup because I want to get to at least 2 of these so you can take these when you leave and start putting them into what you guys do. First of all, how many people here very quickly are active day traders? Just give me a Y if you're an active day trader, if you don't mind. So I know what kind of audience I'm looking at. Want to be great, that's fine. Okay, so quite a bit. Again, guys, this will work for longer term trades also. And this will work for Forex. It'll work for anything that you can put a chart to. All right, I want to talk about our first type of trade, and that is called a trend trade, guys. A trend trade. A trend trade will be the type of trade that we make the most money on because it's something that we want to stay in until the trend is broken. The dots, Gaina, are called the VWAP. Volume weighted average price. If I have time, which I probably won't, I'll get into it a little bit later. Okay? So I want to talk about a trend trade. And first of all, let's just talk about what a trend trade is. A trend trade is when a stock opens in one direction, establishes a trend, and then continues in that direction for most of the day. That's what a trend is. This is a perfect example of what a trend looks like. I want a trend to look like a ski slope. That's what I want a trend to look like. The idea behind a trend trade, guys, is a stock does not go straight up. A stock is going to go up, it's going to pull back. It's going to go up, it's going to pull back. It's going to go up, it's going to pull back. And this stock this morning, guys, is giving us a perfect example of two beautiful trades that set up for us. Beautiful. But I want to talk about the trend trade part of it first. A trend trade, guys, is the only time we will ever use our 15 EMA. It is the weakest of our moving averages. It only works when stocks are in trends. It only works when stocks are in trends. One of the first rules for a trend trade is no trend can be established until at least 9:45. No trend can be established till 9:45. Just because a stock opens up does not mean it's in a trend, and just because a stock opens down does not mean it's in a trend. So we're watching Expedia. It's 9:30. It's 9:40. Right here, guys, at 10:40, the stock has opened up, showed us it's in a trend, and here it pulls back and hits our 15 EMA. We are going to enter into a trend trade with our full size at the exact price when the stock pulls back and hits our 15 EMA. In this case, and I always use 300 shares for examples, because when we exit a trend trade, we're going to do it in thirds also. Yes, Jake, Gary, it also pertains to Forex. I mean, what I'm talking about, yes. The first 15 minutes of the day can be very difficult, although we're going to trade it, and I'm going to show you an example of us trading it the first 15 minutes in two different instances. All right? Let's try to get through this trend trade. So we have entered into a trend trade right here in Expedia at 105.63. The first thing we do is establish a stop order. In a $105 stock, I am putting in a stop order 50 cents below the trend line. So we have entered this trade at 105.63. Let's just say my stop order goes down at 105. So the first thing we always do whenever we enter into a trade is establish our risk. If I buy this thinking that it's a trend and it breaks down and it is no longer in that trend, I am out of the trade and on to the next trade. On to the next trade. We have entered this trade at $105.64. In a trend trade, I am going to take this off in thirds as the stock goes up. In a $105 stock, my first exit is going to be up $1. So 105.63, 106.63 right here. I have exited my first 100 shares. Now, once I have exited my first 100 shares, my stop order that I originally put all the way down here is going to follow this trend line up. So I have sold 100 shares at 106.63. My stop order now is going to go 50 cents below the trend line here. So from 106.32, 105.82 is now my stop. So my stop, I have entered the trade at 105.64, is now at this point 105.80. I am guaranteed a profit on the rest of this trade. My second lot comes off when the stock is up $2, which is right here. Again, I've made $1 on 100 shares. I've made another $1 on 100 shares. My third 100 shares does not come off until the end of the day or when the stock breaks the trend. So we sold 100 for $1 profit. We sold another 100 for $1 profit. Keeping in mind our entry is here, 105.63. My last 100 shares would have been sold when it broke this trend line by 50 cents. Actually, it's right about here at 106.69, 106.70. We were long at 105.65. $1, $2, $1.10 on the last 100 shares. This is such a powerful trade, guys, especially when stocks have earnings, or especially when we have trending days like today was, right? If we look at the spiders today, I'm going to show you one more examples of this. Look what the spiders did all day today, guys. That is magnificent. When you see the spiders are doing this, 90% of the stocks we're looking at are going to be doing the same thing. And that's when we want to get involved in these trend trades. Let me show you one more example. It doesn't have high prices. All right, this is oil, Apache. P.S. We had a long conversation last night about getting into the oil stocks because they've gotten so beaten up And we were so close to getting into swing trades in these things. I was looking at Apache. Look at the daily chart in Apache. Look what this stock had done on a daily chart. Unbelievable how bad this got. And oil was oversold and everything was just due for a big bounce. And I said to my guys, you know what, guys? Let's not do it. Let's hope for one more follow-through day today, and then we'll really get involved. And look what happened. Stock made a low of 69 and went up $3. So, not always perfect, that's for sure. So let's look at Apache. Okay, it's 10:30, it's 11 o'clock. It has clearly established a trend. And here, guys, let's call it 70.50. It hits our trend line at 70.50. My stop order is going in at 70. And now, in a $70 stock, we adjust. Once I make 50 cents at 71, I sell 100. Once I make $1 at 71.50, I sell another 100. Keep trailing my stop up, 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 up. This thing never broke the trend. At 359, we would have sold our last 100 shares at 72.79. In at $70.50. On our last 100 shares, we're making $2.50 on this. So that's why we always hold on to a little bit of the trend trade. And oftentimes, look, we made 50 bucks, we made 100 bucks, and we made $2.50. So a 300 share trade is 400 bucks, okay? I have people doing these trend trades with 3,000 shares. Sometimes some of my beginning guys are doing these trend trades with 100 shares. And if they get into them with 100 shares, you don't get out of them until the trend breaks. That's simple. So even a 100 share trade in this netted you $250. You don't have to have big size as a day trader to make money. And I tell that to my guys all the time. The only difference between buying 100 shares here and 1,000 shares here is experience. That's it. And it comes very quickly once you've learned these methods. Now, guys, I'm not talking about any nuances in these things. I'm going over very basics of these things. And there's a lot of nuances involved. And what we do in the 5-day trading lab is we just pound this in and pound this in and pound this in for over 40 hours, in addition to also talking psychology all day long. So it takes a little time to learn these. It takes a little time to learn these, but you can see how powerful these are, how beautiful they work, especially when stocks are trending. So we have methods, guys. Look at UPS today. Again, same thing. 10 o'clock, it comes down, hits the trend at 98.27. Only broke it by 18 cents. The stock went up $2 from there. Expedia. Same chart. We talked about Expedia. Same exact chart. Same exact chart. FedEx. Same chart. Right here, 1035 in FedEx. 167. Stock closed at 170. Okay, so that is a trend trade, guys. Very easy to recognize. You know, in our green room, which is where we have our continued mentorship and where we trade the markets live together all day, right now we have 70 people in the green room. That is going to be capped at some point, probably around 100. Probably around 100 people. So we all work together all day long. All day long. And someone asked me, how do we find these stocks? Well, number one, I'll do this very briefly. Number one, I'm always going to my rises and fallers in the morning. That is the first thing I'm looking at. That's where I'm going to get a lot of the stocks that I'm trading during the day. Now that we're in earnings time, we're actually coming to the end of it. And I have to tell you that earnings, pre-market, and aftermarket trading has been absolutely spectacular. Guild, all aftermarket trading. Twitter, all aftermarket trading. It has been phenomenal, and most times it is. Much more advanced trading technique, no question about it, trading earnings. But a lot of money to be made. A lot of money to be made trading earnings. So number one, rises and fallers. I'm up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Here's where I'm looking. I'm going to get a list of the stocks that I'm interested in trading that day. Number two, all the people that are in our room that are working together. Number three, my watch list, which has about 200 stocks in it, about 50 of which are go-to stocks that we trade every day also. Okay, I want to try to get through one more trading setup. And between the two setups that I'm giving you here, guys, probably are going to be the ones we do our most trades on. And again, I can't get into great detail because I just don't have the time. Next trade I want to talk about, and I'm going to go back to, I think it was Expedia. call this our regular moving average trade. Yes, our regular moving average trade. Let me just see, Twitter's coming in here now. Give me 1 second, guys. In case something lines up for us to trade, you can watch us trade live. 3670 Twitter. Very small. And this is a trade that we'll do. 3670 in Twitter. Our VWAP is 3634. I'd probably do a little more down there. Getting this, Seth? I'm going to get back to the trades in a minute. Okay. 3566 would be gorgeous. So have a little stop. The trades, Expedia. Okay. So the next trade I want to talk about, guys, is called a regular moving average trade. A regular moving average trade. And this is a trade we're going to do when a stock. Okay, hold on 1 sec. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. All right, so Twitter, we're in at 3663. Let's sell a little at 85. Right here. Oh, we got 90. Beautiful. And let's get out at 98 and move on to the next trade. In and out, Seth. Nice job. Okay, so I'll just show you Twitter real quick. What we did. Okay, we bought Twitter at 3660, right on the 65 EMA, and we quickly flipped it out at 36.99. So we made 39 cents on that trade, and I wasn't quick enough to get out of it, but that's okay. All right, so now it just hit the VWAP. So the next really area that we care about is down at 35.65, Seth, for a trade. 35.65. Okay, let me get back to this because I want to get through a couple more trades. Don't worry about trading right now. All right, so let's look at Expedia, guys. And here's our next trade. It's called a regular moving average trade. A regular moving average trade. This is a trade that we do, guys, when a stock hits either our 65 or our 200 EMA. There will be a recording, Wendy, absolutely 100%. There will be a recording. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so a regular moving average trade, guys, is a trade we're going to do when a stock moves and hits either our 65 or 200 EMA. Our 65 or 200 EMA. So the number one rule, we want a stock to move at least 50 cents from its current price and then hit our 65 or 200 EMA. At least 50 cents from our current price and hit either our 65 or 200 EMA. And I don't care what time this is, guys. I'm going to show you a quick trade that we did in Grub this morning based on a longer term time frame. That was absolutely spectacular. So here we're watching Expedia. It's 9:45 and it's trading at 105.24. 105.24. In 5, 10, 15 minutes, it spikes up to 106.01. So it has moved up 80 cents. 80 cents and hit our 200 EMA. So how we enter this trade, guys, is very simple. Same thing. We enter the trade with a limit order at the exact price of the EMA. Again, full size. Again, full size. Okay? Stop order goes 50 cents above the moving average, and we look to make between 25 cents and $1, depending on the price of the stock. Between 25 cents and $1, depending on the price of the stock. Let me show you another one. So here, guys, let me get another one to show you a good example. Tesla. Let's go to Tesla. Tesla. Look how beautiful this one, guys. The stock is $255. And again, I don't even care about the price of the stock. It goes from $255 to $258 and exactly hits our 200 EMA. Exactly hits our 200 EMA. We offer the stock on the EMA at $258. Now in Tesla, you got to give it $1. So you give it $1. very quickly. And most of our trades, guys, I can tell you, most of our moving average trades are going to be done within 5 minutes because we are patiently waiting for these levels to hit. We are patiently waiting for these levels to hit. So most of them are going to be done very, very quickly. Very quickly. So here in Tesla, we entered at 258, and very quickly the stock went down almost $1.50 to give us our dollar profit. Absolutely spectacular. Perfect, perfect trade. This works on longer time frames also, guys. I want to show you Grub from this morning. Grub from this morning. Earnings were out in Grub this morning. Okay, earnings were out in Grub. 5-minute chart, we had nowhere to look at anything. Nowhere. Look at this, guys. Daily chart in Grub. We had a resistance level, and it changed a little. It was like 36.30. This is why this is so powerful for earnings when they come out. 36.30 was the spot this morning. I want you to see what the high in this stock was. 36.63. It went 33 cents above that. 33 cents above that. And the stock went down $8. Did we stay in it for $8? Of course not. Of course not. But we made $3 on this trade. I did 100 shares in this trade and made $3 in about 3 minutes. And this was right when the market opened. Right when the market opened. Again, we had no moving averages. We had nothing anywhere. Zero, zilch, nada, nothing. But by going to the longer time frames, and this is why this works for swing trades, you're not going to have as many setups. It works for investing. When something gets whack-a-doodle and really gets down to a daily or weekly support level is when these trades set up, and it's when we get phenomenal trades out of these, and some of them can work very, 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 very quickly. Very quickly. So that is a trend trade. That is a regular moving average trade. We have 4 other setups, guys, and that's what we do in the lab. So for 2 minutes, I just want to show you guys what our lab is about. Here it is, guys. And by the way, this is the first one that I'm doing on a weekend for the month of August. The first one I'm doing in August. It's $800. We are doing 12 hours on Saturday and Sunday, 6 Saturday, 6 Sunday, and then we're doing about 50 hours during the week that follows. Live trading, up to the minute, in the green room, all day long. So we're talking about 65 hours of training, guys, for $800. I know it sounds like a lot of money. Trust me, it's not. If you guys have gone through this, I know I'm sure a lot of you guys have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this. Thousands learning how to trade. Anyone who's been in this lab, and we sell them out every single time, guys. We've had 6. We've had overflow crowds in every single one. I only take 20 people. Once 20 people file in, that's it. We are done. Will not take more than 20 people. It is very personal. I address each trader's individual needs, each trader's individual problems. We talk about psychology in depth. It is just a phenomenal experience. Anyone who's been through it has absolutely loved it. And we have a good time. It's not intimidating. It's fun. It's not that hard to learn. And anybody can do this. Trust me when I tell you that. Anybody can do it. I am going to post a quick link to all this. Let me get rid of this now. Let me post a quick link. Give me 1 second, because I know my time's running out. So you guys can get more information and add it from this if you need it. Give me 1 sec. I'll post a quick link, and I'm going to let you guys go. Okay, here it is. $300 share lots are for pikers. That's right, but that's how you start, Israel. That's how you start. There's no difference between 300 or 3,000. Makes no difference. I can't copy and paste. Can't copy and paste. All right. Guys, the link is, if you want to learn more about this, because I can't copy and paste, it's www.t3live.com/trading lab. Phone number is 888-998-3548. Let me see if I can do it here. Hold on. Maybe I can. Give me one more second. I think I can do it here. There we go. Yes. There it is in the chat box, guys. Yep, it's in the chat box. Can everybody see the chat box? Okay, it's in the chat box. There you go. I'm going to give you my personal email. If anyone has any questions about it, feel free to get in touch with me. Dave@t3live.com. All right, if you have any questions about the lab or any of the things that we do, guys, if anyone really is serious about becoming a day trader, trust me when I tell you, it's a really spectacular thing that we do. $800 for about 50 hours of training. It's less than a babysitter gets. And what we do works. It does. Proof's in the pudding. 6 months, we've made money for all 6 months. Anybody have any questions for the last 3 months? I will send my regards to Sperling for you, Israel. No problema. Again, guys, any questions, feel free to send me an email. Click on that link and it'll give you more details about the lab if anybody's interested. It has absolutely been my pleasure to be here with you guys today. I wish I could have got to more content and showed you some more of our trading setups. I am going to be starting in September again a 4-week free program where I actually go over all the trading setups and stuff. So I'll try to get this mailing list and send it to everybody out there if I can. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Reed, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here and be able to present. It has been my pleasure. I'm sorry about the little screw up. I guess that guy didn't want anyone else to talk because he got rid of everybody after his. Now, I know you guys have seen a lot of stuff out there for $5 and $7 and $12, but we're going to teach you how to day trade. We're going to teach you a successful way to day trade that works. So if it's something you're interested, get in touch with me and we can talk about it in more detail.